Hey everybody, it's meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you live on this hump day. Hey, we got a lot of weather to talk about. Are you ready for frost? I can't believe it. Your forecast is next.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, we're going to start with the hour-by-hour forecast, and fittingly enough, football season is about here. So I'm sporting some of my team's colors, and I know that you're excited about that big Monday night football game if you're a big old Minnesota Vikings fan. Let's talk about weather, but first, hey, if you like the videos Hutch does, throw a like on any of these channels. Let me know. Hey, good to have you on board. Frost. Oh, let's see. What's that say? Jay Gamer Girl says frost. Cool. That's definitely going to be cool. And there's a frost advisory out there. Let's talk a little bit about what we have going on. Someone in an earlier video asked, Hutch, is it going to snow up there near, up there by Thunder Bay? Well, look at this. Forecast models are showing some rain making their way through. A lot of colors on this. Let me explain. Number one, the background colors you see back here, the oranges and reds, that's the warm temperatures. And then the blues, that's the cool, cold water and weather that we've got rumbling through. And oh, by the way, that's a future radar right there showing a batch of rain. Let's go through the hour-by-hour details. Your questions are important to me, so we'll ask you on the timeline here, are you ready for frost? Because I'm ready for frost. And let me see here. What else do we got going on? Thanks for watching on my Facebook channel as well. Frost, sound good? I'm just gonna type it in there and ask you, because I gotta ask. All right, I'm not ready for it, not even in the least. Will it be in Fargo? Will it be in your town? Here's where it's going to be the best chance of it. Let's get right down to the hour-by-hour details this evening. Spotty showers showing up on the future radar here across mainly Minnesota. Going through your overnight hours, good sleeping. If you crack the windows open, make sure you have that sheet close by so you can pull it right over you, because some areas are going to get chilly. That's right. See the white colors here? That's the chilliest air right there. Arrowhead of Minnesota. We're talking Ely. We're talking International Falls. And we're talking Fargo and, well, Grand Forks too. Becky, good to have you on board. Deb, good to have you on board. Thanks for joining Hutch's Weather here and talking a little bit about the weather. Why am I wearing a hat? Because I know where it's at. And that's a chance of some frost working its way through. I don't want frost, says Clarine. I definitely agree with you. Now, out to the west as we go through the evening hours, the yellow colors, that's where the warmer air is, and your temperatures overnight are going to remain milder, I should say. Let me put the timeline up here. I apologize for that, but this is by 10 a.m. So as you rise and shine, we're going to have a few showers of rain pushing their way through parts of north central North Dakota. So 7 to 8 a.m., we're talking Kenmare. We're talking up here by Botanoe, and there's going to be some rain. Wet rain, not white rain, wet rain. And that's important to distinguish. Miranda, good to have you on board. Not ready for frost either. Park Rapids, getting chilly tonight. Feels great. You know what? I love that crispness to the air. But what about this? Rather than swatting mosquitoes, maybe we're going to get a break from that, right? Because some of this cool weather in the overnight hours can come with some great things. Thanks. I'm glad, Julia, that you love the hat. I'm kind of partial to it as a Denver Bronco football fan. Okay. Sorry about that. I got to advertise. Christine says cold temperatures. Yes, bring it on. Gotcha. All right. Rain showers, rain aplenty making their way through. These showers push into Devil's Lake and the Devil's Lake Basin 9 a.m. And as we go towards the midday hour, if you got a picnic basket ready for your lunch, you got to make sure that you bring an umbrella too, because you got to get protected from the rain. That's right. You'll want an umbrella. Because that's going to bring rain showers. Now, the chances are a little lower for rain in the far southern counties out here. We're talking about that South Dakota border county area. But the best chance comes from, well, the rest of the area. So it's like a 90 to 100% chance that Fargo and Grand Forks sees rain. But if you're down here near Richland County, South Dakota, if you're in Aberdeen, the chance is a little bit lower. And it could rain from the midday hour here in Fargo and last for quite a while as a heavy rain by the time you get ready to get off of school and you head into the school bus stop, kids. It's going to be a rain and a plenty out there all the way from Jamestown, from the Devil's Lake Basin, all the way up here in Cavalier, all the way out to International Falls. That's right. But the good news is it's not snowing yet. A good dose of rain for Bemidji. Looks like up here down in the Roseau County area, Marshall County, Minnesota, getting some much needed rain. Paula, thank you for your sharing of stars on Hutch's Weather. Hey, what do you think about the football season? Why don't you let me know your picks on the Vikings Monday Night Football game against the Bears You think they're going to win? That'd be a fun game to watch. I can't wait to see it. It's coming up on Monday night. But for now, here's what we got going on. We're talking Thursday, 5 p.m., drive time home, rain aplenty, some of it heavy. A little bit of lightning cannot be ruled out, but these are not going to be a big-time thunderstorm outbreak with nasty, severe weather. But it's going to bring a change. Our temperatures in the early part of the day, we're dealing with these south winds. But it ain't going to be warm. And once your wind shifts around, the northwest winds take hold, they're going to bring the blue back in. That's the cold air. And it gets super duper gusty. These pink arrows here represent stronger wind speeds. And these shorter blue arrows over here, slightly weaker wind speeds. Most of the day in Fargo, in Otter Tail County, we're going to see the quieter winds. But as we get into the evening hours, say between 4 and 7 p.m. across our area from west to east, we're going to see those winds spiking up. And that means they get stronger. And you'll want a tight fitting hat, not one of them things that'll loft away and end up somewhere in South Dakota or Nebraska by Thursday. You don't want that Thursday night. Now, as we go through the late evening hours, 7 to 11, the showers will quickly work their way towards Minneapolis, Duluth, Cloquet, all the way down into Rochester area and up into northern parts of Iowa. Then the gusty winds and the cold air takes hold. So in the morning tomorrow, the coldest air, as I reverse this back in time, looks like northern parts of Minnesota, northwest Minnesota, patchy frost is going to be possible, and it's going to kiss the Fargo-Moorhead area too, but it should stay out to the east with the coldest of the weather being up here and draining down into areas, and particularly if you have those drier areas. The warmest weather in the afternoon as we review this. Ooh, what happened? I don't know. We just kind of jumped the ship there. Okay, let's go right over to here. Okay, so the warmest weather in the afternoon is going to be out in the western Dakotas and the South Dakota border counties, where we will warm up a skosh, but not too much. Lisa says the Vikings beat the Bears. And Matthew says the Bears, I hope, win. G loves gorillas. Good question. What does the purple mean? Ooh, purple. I'm not sure what you're asking about purple in the colors here, because I'm not seeing a lot of purple, but my eyes can sometimes give me a little bit of grief. So we do have some cold air working its way through and a lot of rain as we work our way through Thursday. So noon rain, the rest of the day it moves off into Minnesota into the night. Then the real cold starts pushing in. Friday won't be as cold in the morning because we still have clouds and rain around, and that blankets in some warmth. But Saturday and Sunday is Hutch's pick, as I've been talking about the last few days. I've highlighted on my 7-day, having it red. What does red mean? It's just that little, tap on the shoulder to give you a heads up, a Hutch's heads up, that you're going to have a chance for some frost across the valley. This includes Grand Forks and Fargo as well. Yuck, says Sean. I think we have a few seconding that opinion. Blow the cold away, Hutch, says Bonnie. Well, I know, I'm with you, but we do have some warmer weather in the forecast once we get through Sunday morning, and a good chance of some patchy frost even into and near Fargo. We're going to see a nice warming trend that carries us up, and away. 70s to 80s, returning with 1 or 2 thunderbolts in your forecast as well. So that's a look at that forecast model. Now let's take a quick look. And if you have a question, now's the time to ask a question about what you're thinking's going on with the weather. If you have a question you want to know about, let me know. I had someone ask about smoke. We'll review that right now real quick. Loving the 50s and 60s, Brenda. I hear you there. Here's a quick peek at that smoke, and it's been no joke. I'm going to take a look at the EPA air quality digits across our region as we take a peek through here. And what you're going to see, anywhere we see these green dots, that's good or healthy air quality. Most of North Dakota and northern Minnesota, good air quality now. That schmutz in the air has pushed its way all the way down into South Dakota and the Twin Cities. That's where the levels of the schmutz in the air a little bit higher. And then as we head out in the western Dakotas, we have some higher values out there as well. Let's go to a stop out here out in west, and let's see what western North Dakota is showing out there near Medora for the Theodore Roosevelt National Park area. We have 79 on the meter there, so not triple digits, just a little elevated, unhealthy for some. You get into the Fargo-Moorhead area, we got the green dot out here for 42, and that's pretty good for me. I think the air quality has improved. Down in the Twin Cities, however, right smack dab in the middle, we have levels of around 59 from smoke. Some of the thicker smoke did move its way down into South Dakota, and on the well, and this is Nebraska even. So South Dakota and Nebraska have some elevated amounts. As you go on that I-80 corridor, we do have triple digits there for a few areas. So keep that in mind. As you go south, we have the higher air quality. You can see way up north here, up into central Canada, we still have those fires burning. That's where the source or the point source is for many of these smoke levels that we've been seeing increasing here over the course of our summer. Here's a quick peeky boo at what's going on with the smoke near you. So let's go ahead and check out this forecast model. The elevated levels of smoke in the atmosphere at the surface right here, moving down to the south. A little bit of clearing going up north. A big old burp of smoke and schmutz works its way through southern Montana, heading into northern Wyoming. So the cowboy state will have some more cowboys kind of coughing up because the air quality is going to be pretty low up there by Casper, Gillette. And if you're up into that Lusk area, you got to watch out for some schmutz in the air there. The jet stream can go north, said Jared. I hear you. If it goes north, then we warm up a little bit usually because the location of the jet stream is really tied to those temperatures we have here at the surface. All right, smoke heads south, and really we look like we're going through the rest of the work week with some cleaner air. Sean 35 says it's pouring in Bemidji. Can I cover my plants still? It was just pouring. Anyone? Let's go ahead and answer your question. So back to the radar real quickly. Let's go to what's going on now, because that's really what you're asking, I believe. Kathy says, do you think tomato plants will be okay tonight in Grafton? You know, the Grafton, Park River area, the frost is going to be off to the right on the map of you out here in the parts of northwest Minnesota. You're pretty close to that area being in Walsh County, though. So, you know what? I think it should be okay. Two things you can do. Number one, if you spray them with water, it sounds counterintuitive, but that freezing process takes energy from the air and it makes that freezing process slower. So spritz them down. That's one bit of insurance you can do. And then the other thing you can do is obviously cover them. So if you have some plants and you just want to make sure, double sure, double sure, then I would. And I'll ask you this, because Kathy, I don't know if you have gotten a ton of rain in Grafton or you're a little drier than average for this time of the year. But if the ground is dry and you haven't gotten a lot of rain recently, then I would cover them up, because drier ground will really allow the temperatures down there near the surface to fall faster, if that makes sense. Well, they are all soaked. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this radar now. This is the forecast radar, not the radar now. So as we take a look, there's not a lot of rain forecast for the area, just hit and miss showers showing up here, and then it dissipates. Then tomorrow morning, coming at us live from Minot, North Dakota, is a batch of wet rain, not white rain, moving through, and it lasts the entire day, and we could be talking about some significant rainfall amounts. So before we get to the radar, here's a look at some rainfall amounts: a third to an inch of rain. Isolated areas will see an inch of rain or more. And this is the path it takes from north central North Dakota, Bottineau, Belcourt, Minot, Jamestown, Devil's Lake. How about you folks in Valley City, all the way out into the Bemidji area here in Polk and Marshall counties? A good dose of wet is on its way. All right, I know I promised you the radar, and let's take a look at that radar right now and show you what's happening right now. So here's a look at the regional radar, and just like the forecast was showing, any radar data that's coming up here is a little bit on the spotty side. So we're at 909. We just have a few spotty showers showing up on the radar. So not a lot of pouring going out there for most of our area, but we do have some gusty and cold north winds out there. Yeah, Brenda just mowed. That's a good idea. I mowed here the other day too, and that's kind of nice. Here's your temperatures right now heading into the overnight, and we'll analyze some isolated spots that I think we could have a better chance based on some digits I'm seeing, and the models, well, they're not taking into account because the models ran earlier. We have mid 50s in the valley. We had upper 40s right now in the James River Valley, the Devil's Lake Basin, and we do have a 50-degree reading out there near Glen Olin, I believe. Montana, 66 for Glendive. Oh, 63 and make it. So some of the coolest air temperatures right now, Arrowhead of Minnesota. We're talking low 40s. So you're already punching into the 30s. What? Park Rapids? What's going on over there? You got to watch out here. Bemidji, Park Rapids, 45. Fawston, 46 degrees. So here's what Hutch sees. We're already cool in these spots, but if we're cloudy, that blankets in the warmth. I'm going to look at the dew point temperature, because this is one of the things Hutch uses the dew point temperature for. Using the old melon that I learned this in school. Now, the temperature can fall down to the dew point temperature, pretty quickly on a clear and calm night. So where we have clouds, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get this low, but we can. So here we got some 30s up here, upper 30s. These dew point digits, see this 37 Devil's Lake. So yeah, Grafton, if we zoom in just a little bit to your area, let's see if we have any data coming in from that area. Nope, we got low for it at 37. Whoo, okay. I think I'd cover them tomato plants because we have a dew point of 37. That means your air temperature can sneak on down. Hutch needs coffee. I don't need coffee. I've had plenty of coffee today. Can't you tell? And coffee is warm. So get that coffee ready to brew first thing in the morning. Love it, Sean35. Thank you for the stars, Jennifer. You are the most goodest for supporting Hutch. Again, I'm going to remind you, it helps Hutch if you like the videos, if you like what you're seeing here, if you get your question answered, go ahead and throw a heart up there, a comment, and that really does help too. Now, I got to tell you what, taking a look at these dew point temperatures, anywhere you see dew point temperatures in the low 40s or 30s, we could sneak down into those 30s pretty easily tonight. So I do think we'll have a chance in the Devil's Lake Basin, Walsh County, Marshall County, Minnesota, all the way through here where we see some 30s. We've had some beneficial rain showers and, in fact, some super soakers through Pennington County in the last week or so. And because of that, the ground might be wet and that might spare you from some of the frost in those areas. But anybody that got missed by those big gully washers that rocked their way through the region, you'll have a better chance at seeing some frost in your area. So you can do some of your own local forecasting there because you know gooder than Hutch about exactly how much rain you had and how wet the grass feels in your area, okay? So temperature tonight can fall down to these dew points, particularly in clear areas. We don't have a lot of calm winds out there right now. And in fact, as I take a look at the temperatures across the region, I can hold my mouse over, it'll show me the wind speeds. Right now we have winds that are up there about, well, let's see, where are the winds? Winds 6 miles per hour, no gusts. So that's pretty light winds as we look in on Waskish. We have light winds as well for you folks up there in War Road and Minnesota. And then as we look here in the Park Rapids area, the winds for you are upwards of around 6 miles per hour. So the winds starting to quiet down and slow down just a little bit, like Hutch after his caffeine wears off. 52 Fargo with winds that are about 6 miles per hour. I was chasing trash down the street here in my neighborhood. It was trash day, and we had enough wind to make a little bit of a mess in the area. So that's what's going on here. Now let's take a look at that snapshot forecast for you because we're having so much fun talking about it. Here's your hometown forecast. Somebody did comment earlier today, and I respect and appreciate everybody's, let's just call it constructive criticism and feedback. It helps me out. These numbers are small. I know it. Right now, here it says, mile high salute to my favorite weather forecaster, Go Broncos, says bacon whiskey. That is a mile high salute. And that was all started by my good friend Terrell Davis and the Broncos, who grabbed a couple of Super Bowls way back there in the exciting days. And there's been more excitement since. Thanks for the stars out there. I see Brant joining in. Thank you so very much. Too much of a temperature jump, Hutch. He wasn't ready. I totally understand that. Low temperatures tonight. You see where these blues are? This model is forecasting temperatures down in the 36-degree range. These are also hard to read, not only because they're a little bit on the smaller side, but also because they're a little bit, the colors change, so these dark numbers don't. So I can tell you this, we're going to be in the 30s. We could see some low 30s sneaking into western and, well, even eastern and central parts of Walsh County as well. That means near frost. Frost can form when the temperature is 36. How can that happen? How can it freeze? The air temperatures being forecast are for a height of about 6 feet off the ground. Okay, we don't forecast for what's going to happen on the blades of grass because we don't roll around on the grass too much. The yellow jackets hate this cold. Justin, that's a great reminder. Those bees, they can get kind of a little feisty, the yellow jackets and the wasps this time of year because they're looking for food, and all that's left about with all the pollen and stuff gone is the sweet stuff in the trash cans. So it's no fun to do that. You leave your Coke can sitting, or your pop can, I should say, sitting on the picnic table. You got to watch that sip you take out of there this time of year, right? Because sometimes you'll find yourself a wasp inside that can. Smitty's Gaming said trying to put a white outline around the numbers. Yeah, that would be great. These are based off of a computer model, so I can't control the color of these temperatures, but I'm going to do some work. I'm going to do some homework on this and try to fix this. Let me show you what I can do, and this is because you asked, and it's appreciated that you give me constructive feedback. And just to show you that Hutch cares, I'm going to do this. We're going to make this more bigger like this. Now it's easier to read, and then I'll just move it around. So now we can all take a gander and a peek at some of these digits going on here. Now, anything here in the 35-degree range, again, that's 6 feet off the ground. We're talking about lows that are going to dip down near the 30-degree mark. So that's below freezing. If you see purple in here, look out. So this is that Ely, Grand Rapids area, Virginia, those areas. You're looking at some, well, armpit rubbing cold out there, right? That's how you're going to be at the bus stop in the morning. 36 up here in the Bemidji area is pretty cool. Now, I know Paul Bunyan's a tough guy, and he doesn't really need the flannel yet, but you might want to consider it if you're working out and you're heading out to the bus stop. Oh, you should support the Packers there, Hitch, says Scott. Yeah, I do support the Packers when they're not playing the Broncos or the Vikings. I mean, I like the Packers. They're a fun team. I got nothing against them. Any of the team that's in this division, though, those Chiefs, those Raiders, San Diego Chargers, who have they harmed lately? Nobody. So I don't have any grudge against any of those teams. But I hear you talking. And that was a great Super Bowl, by the way, when the Denver football Broncos played against Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers. Wasn't that great? I kind of enjoyed it. Go Bills, says Sean. I really like their QB. Isn't he fun to watch? The Bills are a strong team, and they had my good friend Von Miller on that team for quite a while, helping out too. They're fun to watch. Okay, temperatures will be coldest in Minnesota. We could see some sneaky areas of frost in parts of the easternmost reaches of North Dakota overnight. As we sneak Hutch's map over so you can read your digits here to the west, 51 Minot. As we look out towards Williston, 54 degrees, Bismarck, 43 degrees. So you can see that cool pool kind of spilling in here. And that's what this model's best guesstimate is for that. So now that's how I can help you see those digits, because I want you, and your feedback helps me understand what it is that you need. Now, tomorrow, we won't need to worry about reading these digits. See how much easier they are to read with the background colors changed. So I'm working on some techniques Hutch uses to change the background colors to make those black digits pop a little more easy. So highs, afternoon temperatures in the 40s, folks, because of that rain. It's going to be soggy. 50s here in the valley. Maybe some 60s in the Southern Valley. I think there'll be a chance at that. And then as we get out to the wild, wild west, that's where the temperatures will be the wilderest. We're talking about 60 so to near 70 degrees. Not a bad day out there in Theodore Roosevelt National Park. But you're going to see a wind shift. Southerly winds throughout most of the day. And in the evening in the Southern Valley, it changes to a ripping north wind. And it'll get noisy out there. And if you happen to have a small dog, you may want to have him on a leash, because that wind could gust, maybe blow over a small dog or something like that. Smitty's Gaming, thank you for doing this for us. You're welcome, Smitty. Thank you for sharing the good word that Hutch is here with his weather information for you. 7-day planner. Check it out. Hutch has highlighted Saturday and Sunday, Fargo, Moorhead, Grand Forks, East Grand Forks, a decent chance of seeing some frost in our area. So I think the frost tonight, mainly in the north and out to the east, as we just discussed. And we'll be at near 40. We could sneak down to a 39, 38 in a couple spots here in the FM area as well. Just keep in mind, I don't think we'll have as much widespread frost chance as our neighbors to the north and east. Our chance really does get better as we go into Saturday and Sunday. Why Friday is a little better for the lows? Hutch thinks will be warmer, because I think we'll have exiting clouds, and as this system moves in the morning, we'll still have clouds and showers, particularly in our eastern counties and here in the valley, keeping us a little more toasty roasty. Speaking of toasty roasty, I got to take that hat off because I'm starting to work up a sweat here. Okay, temperatures as we go through the day. Sunday start a nice warming trend that carries us into the mid and upper 60s in Fargo Moorhead and back up into that fun regime. Hey, Ethan, I hope you're doing good. Thanks for walking all the way out to the Gate City Bank event that I was at and visiting with me. It was a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for your loyal support and watching Hutch's Weather. Tell friends, let people know I'm out here. It really does help, and liking these videos by clicking the like button or whatnot really does help as well. If there are no other questions, we can talk a little bit more. I see one coming in here. Can you touch on the Arizona weather? Let's see, Arizona weather. You touch base on the weather in Arizona. Oh yeah. Well, Kevin, let's go to it. because Hutch can answer questions. Now, I'm going to do this quickly. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to go right back to my radar. These are current conditions right now. Sneaking out to the great state of Arizona, was out there the last couple of years. Old Phoenix, look at this. It's still 100 degrees, and we're talking 9:20 Central Time here in Phoenix. Tucson down at 90, 99 in Yuma, Mexicali. Yeah, it's no picnic down there. It's 100 degrees. I mean, that's pretty warm, even for that area. This time of the year, it can be really hot, muggy down in the deep south. But really, this cold air mass has snuck all the way into the southeastern United States, making things more comfortable for our neighbors in places like the Boot Hill of Missouri, even Arkansas. It's 75, so that's pretty muggy and warm for this time of the night there. Their dew point out there is 70 degrees, so that's some sticky air you can wear when your dew points are in the 70s. But we do have our temperatures here. You can clearly see where the cool pool has taken hold. And not only that, I can show you across the country where there's been the biggest change by doing this. Whoop! Here's a look at temperature changes over the last 24 hours, and it's this much colder in these areas here on the blues. How much colder is it, Hutch? Well, as you look in northern Arizona, the temperature right now is 10 to 15 degrees colder in these areas than it was yesterday at this time. That's pretty significant. As you go throughout in the Great Basin here, moving out towards southern Utah, about 7 to 10 degrees colder. And in the state of Oregon, we have 10 degrees cooler weather tonight than last night. Where has it changed for the warm up? Well, look at this. It's getting warmer in western parts of Oklahoma with 10 to 15 degrees of a warm up, and Calgary, Alberta, melting ice out there just as we get ready for hockey season to kick off, or no, just as we get ready to drop the rubber puck on the ice, right? The blue line. All right. Very good, everybody. Let's see. Should take care of some mosquitoes. We talked about that yesterday or a little bit ago. Brenda says happy birthday to the hubby on Sunday. Happy birthday, Brenda's hubby. Hope everybody's having a fun time. Look at the big cool down up here as you look up into Ontario. It's 22 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than yesterday at this time. Woo! That's cold. All right, that's a look at your weather. Thank you all for joining Hutch. Let's take a look at that national radar. I can show you that for the most part, things are pretty quiet here in the northern plains. We do have a cold front pushing its way through Chicago, northern parts of Illinois, all the way out towards, Michigan. And the mitten of Michigan over there, getting some eastern portions of Michigan, showers and rain. Thunderstorms were pretty strong along the I-70 corridor of Missouri. We have this diagonal slant where this cool dome of air kind of is riding up against the warmer stuff, and that's kicking off some fancy showers out there. And speaking of AZ, Arizona does have some flood warnings. What? Wow. Floods in the desert and a severe thunderstorm warning as well. That's south of Phoenix as we go between Phoenix and Tucson at that old Casa Grande. So in Casa Grande, there's a severe thunderstorm warning. This puppy's moving northward right now. What's the warning for? Let me tell you. For you Arizona interested parties, looks like 3/4 of an inch or smaller in diameter of hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that'll blow sand right smack dab between your teeth if you don't keep your mouth closed. Now, as we go out here towards Yuma, Arizona, we have another severe thunderstorm warning. This one's only moving north at 5 miles per hour. It's not necessarily in a hurry. It's got 3/4 inch hail or smaller and 60-mile-per-hour gusts possible from that bad boy right there. Payson getting some showers. Boy, enough for a flood warning. A flash flood warning is in effect for Payson. The considerable threat is here. That means that this puppy is pretty considerable in what it's capable of doing. Let me read the text from the Weather Service here. It says the Gila County area is in a flash flood warning until 8:30 Mountain Standard Time. Doppler radar indicated a thunderstorm with heavy rain around Jake's Corner. If you know where that is, it's not by that cactus or something, I suppose. And then to the Gisela and into Rye. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Turn around, don't drown. State Route 188, State Route 87, State Route 87, all in the path of that. It's going to wash out some roads in those areas. So south of Payson, it looks like we have a serious event going on there. And even more flash flood warnings taking place because when it rains, it pours, and when it pours and you got mountainous terrain and you got dry sand, it runs off pretty quickly. So it looks like we got out east of Bullhead City here by Kingman, a flash flood warning is in effect right now for considerable damage and considerable flooding by the Wild Cow Campground. So if you're anywhere near the Wild Cow campground, make sure that you're aware that there's a flash flooding event going on there. And as we look just south of the big reservoir here, we do have a flash flood warning as well for a considerable threat in the Grand Canyon Ranch out there, just off of the south, what do you call it, bank of the Grand Canyon out there, where the Colorado River runs through the beautiful country of northwest Arizona there. So that's your check-in on Arizona. Burning Man looked eventful, dust storms and flooding. All right, yikes, it was chilly today, felt like fall for sure. Long sleeve weather, thanks Ethan. Please, let it rain. And there's a chance of that here tomorrow. In fact, that chance, as I mentioned early on, is very good. I am meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I have some big news to share with you. It's coming soon. So tell friends to pay attention to Hutch's weather. Also, I have more big news coming soon, so pay even more attention to Hutch's weather. I'm excited to have you on board. Thanks for watching. Have a nice night. Get ready for a patchy frost across our northern and eastern counties for tonight. Let me see if I can put the warnings and watches up here and advisories. See if it shows up so we can show you the counties that are in the advisory for our frost, that F word that we don't like to say at this time. At any rate, this is loading and it's taking its sweet, sweet time. So let's see what we got here. Oh, I'm not seeing it. Well, it is in northwest parts of Minnesota. We have I don't like saying it, frost warning. A frost warning is in effect. Let me see if I can pull it up over here. I have multiple sources. I just was hoping this one was going to work. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go up here and let's go to mapping. You know, sometimes when you have a question, you just go straight to the horse's mouth. Oh, look, there it is. It finally loaded. Woo-wee! Look at that frost advisory. It stretches all the way from the Kitson County area up here in the northwest corner of Minnesota, right through western and eastern parts of Marshall County, Minnesota, straight through Babe the Blue Ox. And remember, we were talking about this Hubbard County area, eastern reaches of Becker County. So if you're in Detroit Lakes, Height of Land Lake, Toad Lake area, those are all in the frost advisory. Goes out to Hibbing and Ely and right smack dab into Rhinelander and Wausau, Wisconsin. All of you can get ready for those frost scrapers. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson with your weather report. That's the very latest. I hope you're ready. And the frost won't last for long. We do have a warm-up, but we'll have a better chance of that frost in Fargo, in Hutch's humble opinion, Saturday morning and Sunday morning as that cold high pressure makes its way right back over us. Can't believe the kids are back in school. It's that time of year. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks, Ethan. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for all of you for tuning in. You're watching Hutch's Weather. Make sure that you follow me on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and have a more gooder night than you had last night. Thanks so much.